Minor pentatonic is a 5-note scale that we use commonly in blues and rock and country and jazz and all sorts of different things. And so what I want to do is I want to show you a few different things about that scale. The first thing we want to do is start learning how the scale looks as a whole across the entire fretboard. A lot of people just know how to play like the first position of pentatonic. Okay, we want to learn more than that first position. We're definitely going to be using that, but we want to be able to see the entire fretboard as one big piece. So the best advice to preface this whole thing is just don't try and take everything too fast. If there's something you don't really understand or you're not very good at, stop and try and develop those elements, whether it's a visual element, an understanding, a physical element, whatever it might be. But you need to just take your time and redevelop yourself. That's probably why you're here anyway. You're missing some elements, and I'm going to try and get those for you. So always remember that that's the great thing. Just stop it and then come back up and start when you're feeling more comfortable. So the first thing we're going to do is break down, and I'm going to play all of this in the key of A minor for right now. One of the big problems I have with a lot of like guitar magazines and things, and don't get me wrong, I buy them all the time, but they'll show you how to do a lick in the key of A minor, and then they'll show you how to do a lick in the key of F minor. And I totally understand. I mean, the great thing is that you should be able to play in different keys, and you should be able to visualize and move those into various keys or the same key. But I think for general instruction, it'd be easier if I just did everything in one key, and then you worked from there. And then if you decide you want to play in the key of G, you just shift it down, or if you want to play in the key of B or C, you just shift it up. So what I'm going to do is show you how to play the first position of A minor pentatonic. By far the most important and probably the one you know anyway, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. So to begin with, what you'll see is I'm at the 5th fret of the 6th string. My first finger is on there. I'm going to be playing a shape, and it's going to look like this. It's going to go from my first finger, 5th fret, to my pinky at the 8th fret. Now to start off with, some of you might use your 3rd finger for that 8th fret. I would highly recommend getting comfortable with your pinky, simply because obviously to be able to fully function with 4 fingers is much more efficient than 3 fingers. Now there are times when you're jamming or playing a song or whatever where you're going to do things that are not exactly what you learned or how you learned how to do them, and that's perfectly fine. To change something to make it make more sense or make it easier to memorize or something, I think is perfectly acceptable. To do something in a way because you cannot do it another way is kind of prohibiting. So the important thing here is we want to develop all 4 fingers. So first thing, again, I've got 5th fret to 8th fret, my first to pinky. Then I'm going to go to the next string, my 5th string, and I'm going to play 1st to 3rd. And then the next string is also going to be 1st to 3rd. Next string is also going to be 1st to 3rd. The next string is 1st to 4th, 8th fret. And then the last one is 1st to 4th again, 8th fret. So I have, here's my shape if you think of it this way. I have 1, 4, 3 1 3s, 1 3 1 3 1 3, then 2 1 4s again, 1 4 1 4. Okay, so 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3, 1 4 1 4. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to be able to look down at your fretboard and you want to be able to see that, to visualize that shape. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about it. We call this a pentatonic scale. Now what does pentatonic mean? Penta means 5 and tonic means root. So it's 5 notes from the root. Now when I play this scale, what you're going to notice is I'm obviously got more than 5 notes here, but I really don't. It's just octaves of the same notes. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next note's going to be 1 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 4 to end it off. So I have, or 1, 2 to end it off, excuse me. So, and then I run out of strings. Okay, so what that means is the first note I'm starting off with here is A at the 5th fret. And if you don't know those notes, we'll talk about that in a second here too. So A on the 5th, or on the 5th fret of the 6th string. Okay? When I go up 5 notes from there, the 6th note is A all over again. Those are called octaves, and we use octaves in a lot of different songs. So now you should be able to visualize your A here and your A here. You should see both of those A's sitting on your guitar. If I was going to solo or improvise, or I had some licks or something and I was going to play, I'd be wanting to target some of those A's because that's the key that I'm in. So if I went See, I can go to that A all over the place. Okay, now we got another A yet, though, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 again. Okay, so that's A up on the top. Now, you might know that these two strings are both E strings. Okay, so this is A, and so is this. So we have A, and A. We have 3 A's in this one position. Now, what's great about the pentatonic, and certainly about guitar playing, is this shape is movable in any key. As long as you know where the notes are on the 6th string, you can shift that first position in any key. So if we want to play in the key of F, for instance, if the song was in the key of F, if we knew that the first fret was F, which it is, I could move this entire shape down to F and play exactly the same thing. And so on. I could be in the key of G or whatever. So we want to learn those notes. Okay, we want to learn where they are on the 6th string, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Okay, before we move on to that, though, I want to have you develop this first position, and then from here on, you're going to develop all the other positions the same way.